Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Minecraft in our survival single-player world. And today, it's been a little while since the last one, so I think we are about due to get lost again. Which works out great because I need to pop by the end anyways and do a quick elytra repair. So, I'm gonna head over to the Ender so that I can fix our wings, and then I am going to meet you guys over on random.org where we can figure out where we're building today. I do love these getting lost episodes. Alright, I'll see you guys over on random.org. Alright, welcome back to random.org, where we are going to generate two numbers between negative 50,000 and 50,000. We're going to travel there, and we are going to build ourselves a little house. Let me grab a note card real quick. In the name of being fully prepared, I should have already done this, but that's fine. I now have a note card and pen in hand. Make sure my pen's got ink in it. Yep, perfect. All right. Our first number is 49639. Let's see. 49639, and that is a positive. And our second number is 12581. 12581. Perfect. Okay, so those are the overworld coordinates for where we are going to build. I'm going to hop back over to Minecraft. I'm going to do a little bit of nether portal math, because we are going to try to just get a portal maybe about a chunk away and go from there and do this off the nether roof. So, I'll see you guys back in Minecraft in just one moment. Alright, we have our heading here in the nether. We are going to 6204 1572. Which should be, I think, that way. Hold on. Nope, that's heading to... So, this way? Roughly that way. That diagonal. So, I am going to head out there, find... so 6204 1572 would be right on our mark. We're probably going to go about 20 blocks away-ish in one direction or another and set up a portal. So, I'm going to head over there, and I will see you guys there in just a minute. Alright, guys, right here where I'm standing, we are at 6200 1500, which means that we're about 70 blocks away. It's not right on top of where we need to be, but should be close enough. We're also going to use a couple of these to save myself a little bit of effort on these corner blocks. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to work, which pretty much defines my build style most of the time. Corner just for completeness' sake. There we go. Grab our flint and steel, and now we get the bonus of this is even more of a surprise where we're going to be at. Okay. Okay. Starting to see the idea. I'm going to go find our exact spot real quick, and I will be right back. Alright, so we've got the spot, and I've got it squared off here. Our nether portal, in case you were wondering where we came through, is actually a lot farther off than I would have thought. we kind of pop up here, you can see way back there is the edge of the loaded Voxy area. So way over there is where our portal is at. I'll move it close. You can kind of see it just down there. I'll probably move it closer at some point, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's close enough for current purpose. So our next task is to fly out 1,000 blocks in every direction and start seeing what materials we have available. Obviously, coming over here, we went over a jungle. We've passed a bunch of savanna. So we've got oak, we've got jungle wood, we may have bamboo, we've got acacia. We'll see what else is around. And hopefully, pretty quickly be able to start getting something together. So let's talk over my initial thoughts with this area. It's not great. We got another river spawn. I could make the choice to flip it maybe onto this island or over here, but that feels dishonest. So we're going to take it exactly as it lays. And my initial thought here is building like a hydroponic farm platform. So have like stilts coming up out of the water with a supported platform, having, you know, different little like farm grids over here, and then maybe up over here, kind of between the two pieces of land, have a little like hut on it that acts as the house portion of this build. And then on this little corner, this little sliver of area here, we might build a custom tree, depending on how we feel once we get the rest of this area in. So, for a start, it's all about figuring out materials. I'm pretty sure that jungle's within 1,000 blocks. We'll find out for sure. But we've also got to see what else is available. Obviously, if we wanted to, dried kelp, but we did that in the barge build. I think I want to try something a little different. We're almost certainly going to wind up using acacia because it's right here. I don't usually use acacia. I'm very judgmental towards the bright orange wood, but I think that we can put it to some good use. I will channel my inner Flynn likes latte and try to forgive acacia and birch and use them right. Whew. It's going to be a challenge, but it is a challenge that I am prepared to face today. So I am going to do a little fly around. If I find anything super noteworthy, I'll bring you guys in. Otherwise, I'm just going to catalog what we've got available, grab some saplings of the wood types we get to use, so that we can start doing some prep back over here. So I'll see you back in just a minute. Okay, I'm still exploring. We're still going through, but I found birchwood, which, like I said, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna give it space to be an accent block. That's what Flynn says works. I trust Flynn. We're gonna try it. I found just now mangrove, which is phenomenal. It's within range, so we're at 4878. So if it had been another like 200 blocks that way, it would have been out of range. And then 11581. Ooh, this is a little out of range, isn't it? Yeah, because 11581's back that way. Okay, well, no mangrove for me. But we did get jungle and birch so far, but also in range, in the ocean here, we have a couple of these coral patches. So, especially this one over here is definitely in range. We might have some fun building options in coral for a color pop, especially since we're doing in a little underwater hydroponic area anyways. Sea pickles, we got a couple things. So I'm gonna remember this is out here and come back to it if we are going to use it. I'm still kind of fleshing out the idea in my head. I did not notice this village over here when I passed by. There is a acacia village, but it's a abandoned acacia village. This is a much more normal village, fortunately. And out of curiosity, because it's always the best building, we're going to check the blacksmith, because why wouldn't you? Nope, nothing good. Occasionally those can have diamonds in them. Alright. I'm a little disappointed that mangrove is out of range, but it's not impossible that there's another mangrove grove within range, so I'm going to keep flying around, finish out the square. I basically flew from our start all the way out to the edge that way, across to the edge this way, which meets up with this ocean. It's not impossible that there's an ocean monument maybe as well if we want a prismarine, but for the scope and scale of what we're doing, I don't think we're going to look for that. So I'm going to keep flying out. I'm going to hit all four corners and kind of fill the inner area. Fortunately, I've got a couple of rockets. I'll probably have to make a pit stop back to drop off some of our collected saplings and resources, but by the time I get back, unless I find anything else incredibly interesting, we should be ready to better form the idea. So I'll see you back in just a minute. Alright, we've got the sun going down here. I'm still exploring around. Back over there is a dark oak forest that's just out of range, 2 pale oak forests that are just out of range, a bunch of spruce wood that is just out of range, but this cherry tree is in range. So we're going to take it, because it is another wood type we can use. What can I ditch for? And we'll go to that for some cherry wood. Grab our saplings. And then we are going to continue looking to see what we can find. There's some snow in range, so I could do a snow golem. I know we've already done that for one of these recently, but we will grab it just in case. Come on. The other part is I would need to find a pumpkin, but that's usually not that bad. I haven't seen any yet, but they're usually pretty easy to spot. So, again, I'm going to keep hunting. I'm going to probably make a pit stop back so that I can drop off the materials that I've already found that we can use. And then we will proceed from there. Well, this is a little bit of a side quest that took us way out of our way, but I did get a sunken ship with a buried treasure, so we're going to see what's in here together. Okay, a couple more diamonds. There was one on the ship. Nice. That's my first Nautilus armor in the survival world, I think. Don't particularly need cod, but a Heart of the Sea is nice. So, I'm going to get back to the real serious work to be done out here. Toss that map. Get those back in my offhand. As you can see, I kind of cut across there, saw the ship. I think right there you can just barely see it. Yeah. And then flew towards it. So we're going to get back on track and continue cutting that way until we find the other far edge of our 1,000 by 1,000, or I'm sorry, 2,000 by 2,000, because we go 1,000 in each direction. Oh, sorry, our 2,000 by 2,000 area, and then we'll fill in some of the middle bits that we miss along the way. Perfect. All right. I'll see you guys back in a minute if I find anything else interesting. Okay, so out that direction I found more dark oak that's just out of range, but right here we've got a mangrove grove that is beautifully within our area, going 1,000 this way and 1,000 this way from our area back over there. So, I am going to grab myself a couple of leaves and a propagule, because that's going to be the easiest way to get more mangrove, and if I choose to use it in the build, then we'll deal with the cutting down trees part of this, because, to be honest here, mangrove is a little bit of a pain to cut down, so if I can avoid it, I'd certainly like to. Yeah, propagule as well. Because these, I believe you can just bone meal to duplicate. So, we've got a little more area to fill in. I don't think we're going to end up getting dark oak or pale oak or spruce, but I could be wrong. See, there's the dark oak that's out of range. It's about 50 or so blocks out of range. And if I was really desperate for it, I might allow it, but I think that it's better fitting to kind of the rules I've already established if I just let it go. So let it go I shall. And you never know, maybe I'll find something else really good in the remaining corners that I've got to fill in here. But we are just over there. I love this little rock structure, by the way, this sandstone island over here. It's completely disconnected. We're gonna fly under it there. And yeah, there could be a really cool build on top of that at some point in the future, but that is a far future problem because we are still working on the village. We've still got several builds in our main spawn area to work on. That's really a far shot from what we're working on now. So, I'm going to keep scouting, see if I can find anything else interesting. You'll get a recap of what we've got at the end. I haven't found any gravel patches, so we could use sand and sandstone given the desert, but at least from what I've seen, I don't have a good enough access to gravel to do concrete. So that is off the palette, which is okay. We used that on the last one for the modern house build. It's just worth noting that it's off the table because knowing what we have available lets me kind of workshop the ideas a little while we're flying around here. So from where we're at back in here, I think that pretty much covers the square. Yeah, out to there, across there, out there. 2,000 by 2,000 is not a huge area. We're going to check up in this corner just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because it was dark when I was flying over a lot of this. May as well bring you guys in for this final sweep. That cherry is barely within range. But anything much past it is pretty much going to be out of the question. And this dark oak is a little bit too far. Yeah, I think we've pretty much figured out our palette. We can mine for most of the wood types. That's not a problem, but... Or mine for most of the stone types, but for the wood types, we pretty much know what we've got available. Pretty okay place to be. Oh, actually there's a little gravel patch there, so if we wanted to do concrete, we do have a little bit of access to it. This is another interesting little landmark over here that I wanted to point out. Just the way that that kind of crooks up and then has the little floating island. And then the other one I wanted to point out is just how big and majestic this mountain over here is on top of the Acacia Hills. It's not even a snowy mountain. It's all stone at the top, but it's so high up. It's a majestic piece, you know? Think, or majestic peak. Like Kilimanjaro or something. See the clouds passing through it? This would have been another really... Oop, emerald. Really cool area to work in. Yeah, that's Silk Touch. I just want to Silk Touch it just so I can take it with me. Yoink. Alright. Yeah, I think that's it for this whole area, though. Have some beautiful backdrop with the big mountains, the snow-covered peaks, all of that, but our build palette, material-wise, is a little bit limited, so we're going to have to make the most of what we've got. We've got oak, birch, acacia, jungle, cherry for our wood-type selection. Man, that's such a weird group of woods. Okay. And I did get some saplings planted over here between fly-arounds. And mangrove. We do have mangrove as well. I just picked up that in the propagules. But let's just do that. Grab a propagule. Make sure I'm not... I thought you could put these on there. Or, oh, you know what? I think that you have to get one naturally off a tree. Okay, that's fine. Where do I want to plant a mangrove propagule? These things are huge. Let's head over this way. Use this little chunk of land over here for it. Right there. That'll do. Alright. Anyways, we are going to... sort some inventory and start figuring out the idea for this build. So, I'll see you back here in just a minute, either with an idea board or with some progress. We'll see how this one shakes out. Alright, we have the initial platform down at least. It's got the stilts going down into the water, which we've used as sort of the connecting point. I had to fly around for a while to find a village that had anything other than wheat. But over here we've got potatoes and beetroots growing, and we're going to do the same thing down the other side. Have this be a whole little farm setup. I'm still debating what to do with this middle section here. Part of me wants to just leave it open as almost a access to swimming situation. But another part of me wants to bring over more grass and create sort of like a raised park area where you've got to step up into another grass area with some, tall grass and a tree and like a park bench. I'm not sure. This is what we're going to use as the foundation of the house for this area. I think that the birch is less offensive here than it normally would be, and I think part of that's because all of the grass around is yellow. You've got the sand that's yellow in the background. So it kind of just blends a little bit with the color tone of the area. I'm trying. I'm really trying to make this not offensive for me. We may end up not using bamboo or cherry in this build. I don't know. We're going to continue playing around with it and see what comes out here. But knowing that there are options was the most important part. So from here, I'm going to start working out the actual house design here, because the entire point is for this to be like a player starter house. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Hey, a little advice for you. Stay in the water. He's not good at taking advice, apparently. Don't need nor want that. There we go. So, I'm going to sleep through the night and continue working on this, and I will bring you guys back in on the other side with hopefully a little more progress and maybe even an okay-looking house. Alright. I think we have something worthy of getting lost. It's a little bit of an odd build palette, but I think it's pretty good. I mean, I tried to use stuff I wouldn't normally use. We used the birch, we used the jungle pillars, we got the acacia in here with the accents for the windows. Stripped mangrove for the pillars. We got the roof on here. I decided to leave this open as like a fishing hole or like a swimming hole. May at some point change my mind and decide to come back in and add grass to this, but I think that for what it is, the outside is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It fits beautifully within our limited area, beautifully over the water here. You're able to kind of boat around here. We could absolutely, tie a boat off on one of these with a lead. Hypothetically, we could break this open and have this also be boat parking. Might actually do that. I don't know. We'll see. Not today, though. This is the end of this episode. But let's take a look at the interior of this place. So over here we have a little TV nook with a separator wall in place to the bedroom, where we've got a dresser. We used these trapdoors to kind of create the semblance of an open door here with the empty shelves there. We might put some books in there later, but a bed with just a little mangrove head and footboard. We did the same thing with the trapdoor for the open door effect right here. And then we've got the furnaces kind of set up for cooking. Very basic little kitchenette, but I don't know. It feels decent inside. It's not crazy over the top. It's just a clean little build. And honestly, I think it's decent. I've got a few more things that I need to do around the area that's just clean up stuff. All of the trees that don't belong here I need to cut down, maybe replant a little bit of the acacia and oak through this area. But for this build and for this episode, guys, I think we are just about done. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. It may be a crime. It may actually be decent. I don't know. But I had fun making it. So, with that, guys, thanks so much for coming along on the adventure, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!